How many concert t-shirts do you own? What are your favorite ones? Do you still buy concert t-shirts? We're going to run down the top selling concert t-shirts, and we're going to go into all kinds of stories about whether you should wear a concert t-shirt to a show and how much money they cost nowadays, which is a lot.
Robert Plant, the Golden God, turned 73. Now, Zeppelin, I really had to do some homework to put together this top 5 list. All songs that I know, but I really had to dig out the ones that I love. Jason plays these things a lot, so our lists are very, very different in our top 5 this week.
Do you suffer from soft suburban dad syndrome? This is something that develops years after you graduate college. You get a little pudgy around the middle. You got some kids. You don't have time for you. We are going to help you fight soft suburban dad syndrome.
Let's go. It's time. Put on pants.
All right, here we go. Episode 21. And as always, Jason and I, we got stuff going, bouncing back and forth. Usually around Monday, we talk about this. We start like throwing some ideas back and forth. And I did want to say thank you guys. I get a lot of emails. And if somebody says something about the podcast, I try to forward most of those over to Jason. But I didn't send you this one. And I did print this out really quick. And I wanted to just knock this out of the way because I don't know if you do anything different. But Phil was asking, love the podcast. You can tell that you and Jason have been together a long, long time. I'm loving each and every episode. Please keep it up. Rod, I'm wondering for you doing the morning show and then recording a podcast in the evening, does it do anything different to your voice? Do you notice it Thursday morning? Do either of you guys do anything specific to take care of your voice? Some kind of a trick that maybe we don't know. You do any tricks for your vocals? Because, I mean, Jason screams at his other job. Do we talk about your other job? Jason kind of talks loud at his other job, too.
I'm always talking, dude. And you know what? It's funny. I actually was
outside of being on the radio, Jason yells at his other job.
A little bit. So I actually was out and I met this lady who spent a lot of years in theater. And she's like, hey, you know, you speak really well and you enunciate and all these things. And she didn't know that I was on the radio or anything like that. And I said, well, you know, and she says, man,
you know, I'm awesome.
You know, I got this, lady. And she goes, listen, you know, you talk well, but when you're talking loud, you're not talking the way you should. Like someone in the theater talks from down low, you know, down in the bottom of your chest. You're kind of talking through the vocal cords and you're shredding the shit out of your cords, dude. You need like a vocal coach to teach you how to speak properly when it comes to projecting your voice. And I'm like, and then it got me thinking, I'm like, she's fucking right, man. How much vocal training have you ever had in all your entire career, Rod?
Absolutely zero.
Correct. Same here. None. Zip. I actually, I don't do shit. I try to drink a lot more water, avoid as much booze and chocolate. And they say you should drink honey tea with lemon. Those are the only things I've ever heard.
Citrus is terrible for your vocal cords.
Oh, so not the lemon.
That without the lemon, the honey is for real. Warm is good. So I just got done drinking, like, you'll see me sometimes on the podcast. I'll have like something warm next to me. I do notice a difference on Wednesdays. The morning show, when I first started doing mornings, you talk a hell of a lot more than I was doing afternoon drive. So I was doing 3 to 7 for the longest time. As soon as I started doing mornings, I had a sore throat for probably almost the first year I did mornings. I talk a lot louder than I have to on the radio, and I push it, and I'm screaming, and I'm animated, and it's not good. Like you said, singers, I know, like from being in the band, and like when the guy that I was in the band with, our friend Dan, when he went out to LA, he started taking some vocal lessons. And that's where he learned to sing. He actually went to somebody that worked with Axl Rose. And you start singing from your belly and your diaphragm. You sing from inside your belly. And you and I do everything from right here in the back of our throat.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to train to do that. I've never tried to. I never even thought about going to a vocal coach. Neither one of us being smokers is a great thing. That's always a terrible thing for your vocal cords. Alcohol is a terrible thing for your vocal cords. I won't sit here and have a couple of beers during or maybe before the podcast to relax me. it's not good for your good for your throat. So warm honey, no citrus, Jason Ginty.
No citrus. All right.
Lots of water, and dairy's not supposed to be great for your vocal cords either. So I wouldn't sit here and drink. I wouldn't drink a glass of milk. But I appreciate the email. One other one that I've been getting just a couple just here and there because people will kind of like tag regular emails to me, and then on the back they're like, "Hey man, can we see around in the rooms that you guys are in?" And I said maybe later. Maybe down the road we'll do like a little mini cribs. It's pretty. Outside of what you guys can see, it's pretty trashed in this room. I say trashed. It's just not. It's not as awesome as this window looks.
No. This is dressing. I specifically sit. I have a desk and I turn my computer and I got everything lined up in a separate way so that you can see all my dumb shit on the wall behind me. So it looks like, where the fuck is Ginty? That looks like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He must be broadcaster. Right. If you watch on our YouTube channel, which every episode is available, by the way, smash that subscribe button.
Smash.
This is done in a very specific way because literally 2 inches to the right, 2 inches to the left, it's a shit show. It looks like a bomb went off. You know? Right
here, those of you that are watching on YouTube, so where my fingers are is the cutoff. And then here is a stack of papers. Right.
Yeah.
All my junk is here. There's a bunch of junk right over here, but you can't see it in the window. So I'm not ready for a Play Pants Pod Cribs yet. But down the road, I promise I'll take you around the room and see. There is a couple of pretty cool things in here.
Dude, you know what? We could actually do that. Just take your phone, clean up your shit, right? And then do it like walk into the room, open the door like they used to open the front door to MTV Cribs. This is the studio where the magic happens, okay? Right. Show them the chair, show them the microphone. Actually, you know what? I love that behind the scenes shit when people do that when say the Foo Fighters are in the recording studio. I want to see all that stuff. I want to see where they're standing,
Dude, more than one person has asked me, they want to see the room that we're in. They want to see some of the other stuff. Because in past episodes, I've gone over to the side of the room and I've come back and I've showed you an autographed Van Halen guitar.
Right.
So there's a couple of things in here. I've got a little refrigerator in here. It's not plugged in, but I could set it up like cribs and have all my Dasani waters in there. Okay.
I like all your bottles of Goldschlager. That'd be perfect.
Maybe down the road, I will take it under consideration for sure. But I do always appreciate the emails. One of the things that I sent to you that came down, and I didn't cover this on the air at all, but it was a t-shirt company. And they were talking about rock and roll t-shirts, concert t-shirts. What are the most popular bands on t-shirts? And I just thought, man, there's a lot to dig in here on this. So out of the gate, boom, I'm hitting you with the question. What band t-shirt do you have the most of? And are they actual? And how many of them are from a concert? What's the band you have the most t-shirts of? I wrote down my answer here, and then we'll see if we match up.
I'm gonna be the worst guy to talk to about this, actually, Rod.
Okay.
Because I've got one of each band shirt I got. When I went to concerts, I've been to thousands of concerts in this radio business, and as a kid, I don't think I've ever bought a t-shirt at the show.
Oh, dude.
I don't think I've
ever. When was the last time I quit this podcast?
I think 16 or 17, maybe. Yeah, it's been a while.
Quitting. What do you mean you didn't, when you were younger, you didn't buy concert t-shirts?
Not very. I think in 90, I bought an old Van Halen shirt when I saw him with Sammy Hagar at the Odd in Buffalo. And that was probably the last one I bought at the show. I don't want to wait in a line. And I've got limited budgets. I want to buy beers. I don't want this stupid shirt.
I didn't have money either, but I found a way. The sickest flex you could do in high school was show up the next day wearing the concert t-shirt. Everybody knew that you were there. You almost wanted a concert to be during the week because you would wear the shirt the next day.
Yeah.
We would get it. We would put it on at the concert. It would smell like weed. It would smell like everything. And then you would come in and you'd wear that. You didn't have any time to launder it. You'd go to school the next day. And this is obviously just the last couple of years of high school when I started going to shows. The best flex ever was wearing a concert t-shirt the day after the show.
Yeah.
You do like the Jeep wave. Like, hey man, I was there.
You saw
there?
You saw
Dude,
Ozzy?
Maiden.
Yep.
Maiden. Dude, I was there, bro. Brah, I was there.
Where'd you sit, man? Where'd you sit, dude? Where'd you go?
So I not only bought the concert t-shirts, but I got the jerseys, the 3/4 sleeve.
Oh, yeah.
Those concert t-shirts inside were about $12. Okay.
Right.
So an Iron Maiden t-shirt was $12. A jersey, which was 3/4 sleeves, it was black with the white 3/4, that was $14 or $15.
Damn, nice.
That's what we paid. Now you could get the ghetto ass shirt that was, somebody's crazy printer at the house, and they said it looked just like the one inside, and the neck was out to here after you washed it.
The bootleggers.
Dude, $8 outside of the show. So, all right, I want to talk band tees. So you don't have any duplicate band t-shirts.
No, I've got like one Van Halen shirt. I'm wearing a Black Sabbath shirt right now. I've gotten into, I go and I look at all the old vintage rock t-shirts. So I see one that's badass, boom. Or if I'm on a kick where I'm listening to a certain band for a while, I'm like, I need a fucking shirt. And I'll go and buy the cool kick-ass old school vintage shirt. And I know I'll probably get shit. Well, you can't buy the vintage one if you weren't at the show. Bullshit. I can buy what I want. But I started to collect more t-shirts, but I only have like one. And I don't have that many. I was never into the t-shirt. My wife will buy t-shirts. Like we go to a show and she's like, well, I'm going to go wait in line. I'm like, you're going to miss half the fucking show.
You will miss half the show now.
I'm like, who cares? I don't need the stupid shirt. I don't care. I want to see the concert. I want to remember it. I want to rock out, have a couple beers, and then move on. I was never the t-shirt guy, really. I mean, I've always liked a lot of them, but I would kind of walk by and go, oh, those are cool. Beer money instead. Always the beer money.
Top 10 popular music t-shirts. This is all genres of music. In at number 10, Ariana Grande. Number 9, Ariana Grande. Neither one of us have one, right?
I do not have one of those, son. No.
Number 9, Prince. Never owned a Prince t-shirt.
Never saw him live either.
Beatles. I have 2 Beatles t-shirts.
Oh, wow. Cool.
I had to get Abbey Road after I actually went to Abbey Road. And I'm a late in life Beatles guy. So I bought a couple for my kid. I have 2 Beatles shirts. One of them for sure is Abbey Road. Number 7, Foo Fighters. That's the shirt I have the most. If I had to guess, I would say I have 8 Foo Fighter t-shirts.
Oh, shit. See, I don't have any Foo Fighters t-shirts. My kid.
You just came over to my house in New Orleans and you were wearing Foo Fighter sneakers.
I got the Vans.
You got the kicks.
Yeah, I got the Vans shoes, the Foo Fighters shoes, which are cool as hell. But my kid's got like 4 or 5 Foo Fighters t-shirts, man. He's ready to go. I got none.
Okay. Number 6. This is all genres of music. The most popular music t-shirts sold. Bob Marley. I do not have a Bob Marley t-shirt, nor have I ever had a Bob Marley t-shirt.
I won't get one of those. I don't think.
Green Day. Number 5.
Oh man, you know what? I don't have
At some point, we got a Green Day t-shirt at the radio station or something. A Dookie shirt in college. Did we get Nimrod? Didn't we get a Green Day shirt?
I haven't. I don't have one. I haven't had one in years if I did.
I don't have a Green Day shirt. In at number 4, Pink Floyd.
Absolutely not. Don't have it. No.
I do not have a Pink Floyd t-shirt.
No.
Number 3, Queen.
No, I don't have one. I would like one.
I have a Queen shirt.
Just so everyone knows, I would like the one with Freddie Mercury and some really short shorts, in case anyone was wondering. That would be a good t-shirt to have.
Dude, you're gonna be like one of those Instagram whores that like puts out a list of stuff that your fans can buy you.
Oh yeah, here's my Instagram, here's my Amazon account, here's what I'm looking at, my shopping list.
Yeah, here's my shopping list. All right, the number 2 most popular music t-shirt. Number 2, Aerosmith.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't have it. I'd like that. Just a logo, that old school Aerosmith logo. That would be the one I'd want. Kick-ass logo. That's it.
I've got one Aerosmith shirt. And in at number 1, AC/DC.
Makes sense. Totally.
By far and away, AC/DC, I think I probably saw the longest lines I've ever seen at a show. Rivaling Guns N' Roses, but for some reason, I feel there's something about AC/DC. Obviously, this list proves it. If you go to an AC/DC show, 3/4 of the people at that show are wearing it's a band t-shirt. I don't know if it's a t-shirt that they bought that night, but 3/4 of the audience at an AC/DC show are wearing their colors. And the girls, I don't know when's the last time you went to see an AC/DC show. You got to buy your girl the horns that the blinky horns.
Totally.
All the girls want to wear those and they look awesome in them too. The girls do look hot in those. And you just see a sea of them. Nobody merchandises, and I'd even rival them to Kiss as AC/DC. For some reason, man, it's just cool to wear an AC/DC shirt. It's always been cool.
And it's just a band that's always cool to like too. And just a simple AC/DC font. That's all I want, man. I'm good with it. I don't have one. I don't have an AC/DC shirt. You know what you've done? You've made me want to go and buy a bunch of. Where's Metallica on that list? How come Metallica's not on there? What
Metallica is not on this list, and I was amazed at that.
Huh? So, it's weird.
It's a little early for us to do a top 5. These are my top 5 shirts that I own, and this is a rough estimate. I'm telling you, I'll take a picture of my closet. I will do this. I will take a picture of my closet, and you guys will laugh at me when you see the row of black T-shirts. That is 8 feet. 8 feet, an 8-foot row of black T-shirts.
Jesus, man.
And that's me moving. Okay. I threw a ton of stuff out. I'm going to say I have 8 Foo Fighters shirts. I'll make it easy. 8. I got 7 Kiss shirts. I probably have 6 Motorhead shirts. It's my favorite logo, man.
Yeah.
I love that damn logo. Yeah. I love the Motorhead stuff. AC/DC, Van Halen, and Tragically Hip. Van Halen, Tragically Hip probably tied. I mean, I probably got 5 or 6 of even my number 5 on my list. I got a lot of that stuff, man.
You know what? I think I got 2 Guns N' Roses T-shirts laying around because my wife bought one at a concert, and I think someone else bought me another one at a different show. And then I've got a Van Halen shirt. I got AC. No, I don't. I got Black Sabbath. I just got this one. I don't have a lot. I got a Led Zeppelin. I got this old vintage one I bought in London years ago. It was all like sewn together. It's really fucking cool. But you can't. It's so vintage and so faded that you can't see the logo or the band on the front. So I don't even know what it says. It's kind of just a black T-shirt. But I
got some old Kiss ones tucked away that I bought going back to our buddy Dan. He got into like Bill Graham's stash somewhere in San Francisco. And I got a bunch of old Kiss stuff that I bought from him. And I bought a box of stuff for a lot of money. And these T-shirts are like schmediums. It's so bad how the sizing of shirts. There's no way I should be wearing a men's large shirt. But by today's age, I'm a men's large. This would have been a 2X back when I was going to check out, Iron Maiden on the Power Slave tour. This would have been a 2X that I'm wearing. Those old concert T-shirts, I don't ever remember being that small when I'm looking at these things. Judas Priest, everything. I had to get a shirt. That was factored into me going to the show. That was money that if you saved up enough money for the concert ticket, you just knew you were getting a shirt. You needed beer money. You had to figure out who was going to drive. You needed the ticket money and the T-shirt money. That was all factored in as part of the experience for me. It was never just, dude, I've got ticket stubs. I know you do too.
Hundreds of them.
$15 tickets to go see bands play, $15-$20. And, it doesn't seem like that long ago, but then I do realize we're old as dirt. But yeah, that's over 30 years ago. We're going to see bands, and I've got Iron Maiden ticket stubs that it cost me $15.
Yeah, back then you had a $15 ticket. You had what, $3 beers or $2 beers, and then you had
you bought a $12 shirt.
$12 shirt. So you were in and out $70 maybe.
So I was getting in and out of there. I mean, with my paper route money, I was able to do it. Something that I wanted to bring up, and we'll have to do this on a future podcast, but it really does make me sad just thinking about throwing out those numbers. A woman sends me an email. We're talking about concerts a lot right now, and, cancellations and who needs, who's doing vaccinated shows and what Live Nation said recently. And so the topic of concerts is being talked about a lot. And I was really saddened by this email. The mom said her kid's favorite artist is, I like him too. He looks a little like a young Rolling Stone. He was in the boy band, the English kid.
Harry Styles?
Yes. So her favorite is Harry Styles. Now, this is a little girl, just like you were a little girl. And
Watermelon Sugar, baby. That's my favorite song.
Favorite band. The mom went online and she can't get a ticket for under $500.
Yeah, I'm not going.
Dude, you and me just got done saying when we were young, when our favorite bands came to town, when you went to go see Van Halen, you probably paid $20 for a concert ticket to go see them. The concert model has changed over the years, and that's really sad. I feel like a lot of kids are going to get robbed. If you love Ed Sheeran, I bet you when Ed Sheeran comes to town, the cheapest ticket, and this isn't even, inflation's going to be more obviously over years, but not like this. I don't think a kid can get an Ed Sheeran ticket. I'm just throwing that name out there. I don't think a kid can get in there for $60, $70, right?
No, probably 100.
But in the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
So how is a kid that is no longer relying on mom and dad, how is a kid going to be able to go and see live music on the big stuff, the stuff that they want to see? There's always local, there's always club shows, but the big stuff, and I feel it's worse for the pop kids that like these Pop-Tarts. I can't even imagine. I don't know what an Ariana Grande concert ticket cost, but I don't think a 15-year-old kid like we were, 16, can afford a ticket.
No.
It's not fair.
It blows.
It's sad, dude. It's really sad.
And the part of the problem is that, you back then, those bands made a lot of money on album sales and record sales. They don't do that anymore. There's no album sales anymore. So now the concert business is where they make all their money. These bands tour. That's where the finances come in. That's where they can make some money. There's no money in streaming or anything like that. We talked about that last episode with the billion streams. You make like $12. So they got to gouge the shit out of you. Plus you've got the merch, and shirts ain't cheap anymore either, man. You're spending the $40, $50 on a ratty ass t-shirt. The markup is ridiculous. And what sucks is you want to see that band, you're a fan and you can't afford it. I get it. It's a luxury. It's something you want to do. You don't have to go see a band, but
that email broke my heart. That email broke my heart that's her favorite guy. And you can't be even 17. You and I, 18, 19, 20 years old, you're not even thinking, of course, concerts didn't cost that much, right? But you wouldn't even dream of blowing $500 to go see Van Halen with Roth and Michael Anthony and Eddie and Alex. You wouldn't have the money. You wouldn't be able to afford that.
Dude, my first car cost $500.
It's really sad. It is really, really sad.
I think what's sadder is that her kid likes Harry Styles that much.
It's a little girl.
It's
a little girl. That's what she digs.
I'm kidding. You like what you like, and that's cool. It just sucks because it's going to take away a lot of great experiences for these kids, for these younger people who want to go see these bands. We've been lucky, and it's more than just inflation all these years. You start doing the inflation calculator from 1985 to today. No. This is way outpaced it. But it's a business. These Live Nations and AEG and all these different promoters, they got to make their money somehow, and that's how they do it. That's why Ticketmaster owns everything.
But like you said, I mean, the short answer is, and we can move on, is album sales. The bands would get more money back in the day off of that. And the record labels were involved in the touring, and they got a ton of money from that. So the bands didn't really, there was a big shift in the last 20 years where bands now took control of all of that touring money. And that's why bands eternally tour. Even some guys like Dave Matthews Band, that's why he goes out every summer. That's where he makes his bread, and then boom, he's off for the rest of the year. But that's his money. The label, there's people going to be grabbing at all of it. But the brunt of the money is now going to the artist on that because they're not making the money on the album. So, it's very, very sad to think about a kid not being able to see live music unless their parents are, springing for it.
I think you almost got to go back. Because remember when, the whole Eagles thing back when they broke up and then they were done for all these years and they came out of the woodwork and they did their Hell Freezes Over tour. Yeah. I think that was the first time that you started seeing $100 plus tickets.
I don't know,
It
but
feels
that's
like it.
That's my memory is the same.
Yeah.
But they didn't just come out and like do $100 ticket. It was 150 or 175. It was such a slap in the face.
Right.
It was so far. It was $100 over the most expensive ticket that was going on back then.
It was massive.
Yeah, it was just the most ridiculous thing. And with all things, it's supply and demand. They're going to test the market. So if the Eagles did anything, they did every single. We're both giving credit to the Eagles. We don't know that for a fact, but my memory serves that the Eagles were the ones that came out and just raped all of those fans that wanted to go see them live.
Yeah.
So they tested the waters and they got it.
And it worked.
The ridiculous amount of money they charged, people lined up. It was the old take my wallet thing. You're right. When hell freezes over, I never thought I'd get to see my favorite band, the Eagles. I don't care what it costs. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Boom. And it wasn't a once in a lifetime opportunity, but it just showed every other band, wow, we can charge a lot of money.
Yeah, because then Elton John did it, and Eric Clapton and Cher, and all these huge artists went out and did it. And now what happens is we've got it to a point, and this, I don't mind this so much. Like you just had the Hella Mega Tour, right? Come through. It's Green Day, it's Weezer, it's Fall Out Boy. And whether you like those bands or not, it's not the point. It's you're starting to get more of these cool packages together. You know, if I'm going to pay $75, $80, $100 for 3 bands that I really like, all right, I'm in. I can live with that. If I'm going to get a good 90-minute set from each, or, you know, pretty close, okay. That's 3 bands. It's like Jazz Fest. You go to these festivals, and I know you can't walk around and see every band, but I don't mind paying $100, $120 for an all-day festival where I can see at least 6 or 7 bands throughout the day.
Yeah.
That's where you got to find your values. But yeah, seeing these huge artists and you're seeing $250 ticket prices, I'm just like, yeah, it's not happening. Like Paul McCartney played a year and a half ago, and I think it was $250 each, and that was not for good seats. I didn't go see Paul McCartney. I wanted to.
$50 for T-shirts. Okay. Yeah. Guns N' Roses has a $50 T-shirt now. Yeah. Paul McCartney, he was in that wheelhouse. So everything, because they get the merch too. That goes back to this list. When you look around at an AC/DC show, it's insane. Okay. The last time I saw him was in a stadium. It was in Boston. It was at Gillette Stadium, and sold out show. 3/4 of a stadium full is wearing AC/DC shit. My wife bought me the tickets for a birthday present. So Hal and I went. I have no idea what she paid for those tickets. They were awesome seats. Just the amount of money, but it's all rich people around us. You know what I mean? It's not just some kid. It's a kid with his rich dad, maybe, but you know, it goes back to, you know, Billy Joel, and I'll wrap it up with this is, you know, the legend is, and I think it is a true story. Billy Joel does not allow them to sell the front row of all of his shows. Right. So that front row is wide open. The best ticket you can buy is row 2, even if you're a scalper or you're going through StubHub or Vivid Seats. The best thing you're going to get to buy is row 2. Billy sends his guys out, goes up to the last row, gives them front row tickets, and people lose their shit. Billy Joel wants people losing their minds in front of the stage, doesn't want rich people on their phone the whole time. Brilliant. I mean, it's the most brilliant thing. I don't know. Maybe somebody mentioned Garth Brooks may have a model like that too, but it's been years that they've talked about Billy Joel doing that.
And what's really wild is, like, you know, you go to a football game, you go to a Saints game or a Bills game or a Texas game, go sit in the nosebleeds, man. That's where the most fun is. That's where the crazy people are. That's where the real folks are. You start spending all that money and sitting down low. I've sat in those seats too, and it's kind of like, okay. It's why the Super Bowl is so boring ass, because the crowd is all rich people in there, and they don't give a shit.
Correct.
They're talking business. They're not fans. You know, you go to these concerts where you're spending so much money. Everybody's fucking dressed up. They got $200 jeans on or whatever it is, and it's like, yay, everyone's sitting down and clapping. It's like, come on, man. Where's the it's just not as wild, I guess.
That was a huge difference. That was a huge eye opener for you and I when we moved to New Orleans, going to games in a dome stadium.
Oh,
and you know, girls don't dress up to go to Bills games. You dress so that you stay alive.
Yeah,
you know,
it's survival, man.
The game, you know, you're passionate, but you're trying to survive. If you're going in November and December, you're not wearing high heels and a shiny shirt and, you know, your tightest jeans or a dress, for God's sakes. A dress has never been worn to a Bills game ever.
No.
And when we went to New Orleans, we're seeing these girls dressed up like going out to a club.
Yeah.
What? You see that in the NBA too, you know, because all the NBA games are indoors, and that's become a place to be seen.
And that's fine.
But the Bills, between going from the Superdome to, you know, our first real taste of indoor football, it was weird, man. It was really weird.
It's still kind of weird because, you know, you got your, like I said, your lower bowl is, you know, people with money, and it's kind of like, okay, cool. Everyone's all dressed up and they're showing off their fancy watches and shit. And then you go up to the top upper deck. It's a whole other world. It's fucking great sitting up high. I took my kid up to the upper deck one time a couple years ago. He's like, this is awesome. I mean, he's learned every curse word forwards and backwards. I mean, it was great. And that's where the fun is, man. It's like, yeah. Question. This is a big one. Because I've had debates, and over the years, I've changed my opinion. But I remember back in the day, and I never really gave a shit. But remember the old thing where, like, if you were going to go see Van Halen, you couldn't wear the Van Halen t-shirt to the show. Remember that? Like, could you wear the t-shirt? Because I remember all the time, well, you can't do that. You can't. What are you doing, man? And I'm like, I'm going to see a band I like. Why wouldn't I wear a Van Halen t-shirt to see Van Halen?
It meant a lot when I was younger, when I was a lock buying a t-shirt at every show.
Right.
We would say, dude, what are you doing with that's the last tour, bro.
Right.
What are you doing, man?
Right.
This is OU 812. Why are you wearing 5150? Dude, you call yourself a fan?
You don't even know.
It was a big deal to me when I was young, dumb, and I was going to buy that shirt and put it on. Now, we would go from our cars, leave our jackets in the wintertime and run, because we didn't want our jackets on during the concert. So we'd run in with just a t-shirt, because we knew we were going to put another t-shirt on top of it. Or maybe we'd have a long sleeve thermal and then we knew we were going to put a t-shirt on top. But I used to be hypercritical of people wearing older tour shirts on the current tour. Now, of course, it's silly.
It's goofy.
Sporting events. You know, I think it's a little weird that at the Texans game, you are always going to see 4 Earl Campbell jerseys in the powder blue. Okay.
It's the old Oilers holdovers, you know?
He never played in that stadium. You know, It was the city. It was the Astrodome. You know, that's about as much wiggle room as I'll give you. Don't go wearing a hockey jersey to a football game or vice versa. I don't know how that works, but the concert, and I always find it weird to be wearing other bands. I don't think you wear Van Halen to a Kiss show.
No, that's a little bizarre. I mean, it just shows that you're a rocker. You're a rock fan, man.
I don't like it.
Now that's a little. It was like wearing a Green Bay jersey to a Saints Texans game. What are you doing? You're at the wrong game, stupid.
I don't like the other band, or a band that's not playing. Right. The girls at the ticket window at BuzzFest. I say the girls, guys, everybody, but the people that take your tickets and they do the will call, dude. They play bingo.
Oh no.
They play bingo. Okay. And it's on the honor system, and you got to read the squares. A t-shirt of a band that's not playing today, you know, a Rod Ryan sighting, a Boobs Rock t-shirt in the fall shows. They do a thing, you know, girl with colored hair and a nose ring, and they check it off, and they're all trying to compete against one another. But one of the squares is always a band t-shirt from a band not playing that day.
Oh shit, man. No, that's a tough one.
I just don't think you should be wearing another band. If they're not on the bill, that's a little weird to me. Still, I would be a little critical of that.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, man, that's a tough one. Yeah, but I know I had buddies. dude, you can't wear that shirt to the concert. I'm like, do you wear your team's shirts to the games? Yeah. Well, how is this different? I'm a fan of the sports team. I'm a fan of the band. Where's the difference, man? You know,
Astros jerseys have changed 5 times since I lived here. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
And then think about how many times they've changed before I got here since the 70s.
Right.
You see everything. You see everything at the Astros games, all the different jerseys.
But that's cool. The vintage ones.
You come up $100 on a jersey. If it doesn't have a name on there, even if it does, I mean, there's still big Bagwell and Biggio t-shirts, there's still a ton of those. I feel like it's almost different for baseball, but concerts, I don't know. It is weird wearing a band that's not on the bill. My question is, to wear a band's t-shirt, must you know 3 songs from the band that is on your shirt?
Yeah, you know what? It's become such a fashion statement.
Ergo, exo facto, Kylie Jenner,
right,
/ Kardashian, wearing a Slayer shirt, which caused, I think, the guitar player from Slayer to wear a shirt, "All Kardashians Must Die," after he found out that she was photographed wearing his band shirt. I think Kerry Kennedy or whatever his name is was wearing it. Do you have to know some music from the band that you're wearing the shirt of? I busted Tessa on this. She was wearing a Jimi Hendrix shirt. Not one.
No. I think at this point it's a fashion thing. It's more bands. These bands have become vintage shirts. Hendrix. It's just a cool shirt now. I think it's just a fashion thing. You
don't gotta know anything.
I mean, I think you should. I mean, if you're going to be wearing a Dokken t-shirt, you better know at least a couple songs from freaking,
Well, okay, this way. Okay, how many kids, Hot Topic, are running around? Now, I don't know that I can name 3 Misfits songs. No. So I don't wear a Misfits t-shirt. Now, I can name 20 Ramones songs because I can wear a Ramones t-shirt, or any t-shirt that I wear, I'm ready to be quizzed at any second on the street. But you're not going to catch me. I'm trying to think of you're not going to catch me wearing an Ariana Grande shirt because I don't know 3 Ariana Grande songs. I can't wear it. On that alone, I won't wear the shirt.
Correct. I mean, other than it's an Ariana Grande shirt, you won't wear it.
It's top 10. What are you kidding me?
I know. It actually might be. Maybe it's a cool shirt. Maybe I should get one. But no, I don't think you have to. I mean, the rock purists would be like, no, man, you got to wear it. But dude, it's fashion now. These shirts are fashion. I bought the Black Sabbath t-shirt I got on because I like the way it looks. I like Black Sabbath, and I can name a bunch of songs. 3
Black Sabbath songs.
But I like the shirt too, man. Hendrix. Of course, I can name a million songs from Hendrix, but I think a lot more nowadays. It's more fashion. I think it's a fashionable thing to do, and I'm cool. And if it's a chick wearing it, who gives a shit? That's awesome. And not to mention, Slayer should be thrilled because guess who just got who just got a billion new looks on Slayer? Thanks to the Kardashian girl. Yeah. True. Slayer should be writing thank you notes to those kids, those girls. Well, Rod, we're going to talk about a band I know you know a lot of songs about. Okay. Led Zeppelin. Robert Plant's birthday is coming up. So this was a very interesting exercise. So in a second, we're going to talk about Robert Plant's birthday is coming up. And we're going to do our favorite top 5 Led Zeppelin songs. Jesus Christ. I can't believe we're doing this.
Listening to a lot of Zeppelin, man. This was good for me. I needed to hear some Zeppelin in my life because I don't ever just put them on. And I know you don't because you probably forced to play a lot of that at your station. So this exercise, this was your suggestion.
Yeah.
My suggestion got poo-pooed.
It did.
We can get into that later.
Yeah, please.
But I'm going to say I'm glad you won this one. And I'm glad that I went down the Zeppelin rabbit hole today. I was very excited about hearing some of these songs that I haven't heard in a long time.
And that's why we do these, because this is where it opens up Pandora's box for guys like us who work in this business. Coming up, we're going to get the lead out.
You did not just say that.
I did. And you know what? We're going to get the let out next. Coming up after I talk to you about a great place in Houston called Lucky's Pub West, I-10 and Barker Cypress, Astros baseball on over 40 TVs. And I'm pretty sure you're allowed to wear whatever damn Astros t-shirt you want. I don't think they'll kick you out. They got great game day specials. The food is absolutely amazing. The best pizza on the best side, killer wings, burgers, and of course, the famous Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. Thursday nights, steak night. Every Thursday. Check out their Facebook page for details. I'm telling you what you do. You pop on the old podcast because it's a new episode every Thursday morning. We release these things, cruise around, do your thing during the day, and then roll up in to steak night. Lucky's Pub West. Always an ice cold beer at a fair price. I-10 at Barker Cypress. Rod's going to be there live August 27th, Friday, with Bud Light and free BuzzFest tickets. Get out of here. You're going to be at Lucky's Pub West on Friday, August 27th. Man, I wish I could come in. I can't.
You weren't invited.
It's a public place. I think anyone can go. That's what I hear. That's why we advertise it.
I know a guy at the door. Okay. So he has to do what I say.
Dude, that's cool, man. BuzzFest tickets. That's awesome.
Yeah, we've been doing, I've been getting out a little bit and going to making a few bar appearances. It's been a long time since I'd done those. I get on the mic. I don't know what to say anymore. What do I do? How do I give away these tickets? It's been a while, bro.
It's weird.
It's been a little while. Okay. Zeppelin, let me just get this off of my chest. Not my favorite band. Love them. Love what they're responsible for. I think they are the greatest hard rock band of all time. Okay. How about that? Am I covering my ass here?
I think so.
Okay?
Yeah.
I really, I struggle with the guys that want to call that metal. It's Sabbath. Get out of my hair. I don't have any. It's Sabbath, right? It's Sabbath, Priest, and Maiden metal. And then there's something called hard rock. And I realized what they did was very innovative, but I just put it in a different category. They're the greatest hard rock band of all time. And
if you listen to any songs with a guitar after Led Zeppelin, you can certainly hear a lot of the influences. You just start naming bands. You can go, yeah, there's a little Zeppelin in there. Oh, I hear a little Zeppelin in there. Oh, I can hear that guitar riff sounds like Zeppelin. Their influence reaches so far and so wide across the guitar world and in rock, all over the radio. Yeah. You know, I mean, so many bands are just going, thank you so much, Led Zeppelin, for doing what you did.
Have you ever in your classic rock career done a 4 or 5 hour shift? Has there ever been a time that you didn't play a Zeppelin song?
Absolutely not. You have to play Led Zeppelin on a classic rock station. It's just, it's cliche. It's given, you know, we still, and I don't like it, but we still get the let out every day at 6:45, the afternoon girl Cat. She gets the let out, dude. We're still getting the let out after all these years. I swear to God. And people love it.
Does she ever say, here's a little lead for your head?
I'm pretty sure there's not one classic rock cliche that is yet to be unturned. And what's funny is, you know, we do these things. We still do 2 for Tuesday, and we do all the hacky classic rock cliche shit. So like, I try not to make fun of it too much because, you know, I mean, it's kind of my bread and butter, you know.
Yeah, but I kind of work there.
I will throw in some smarmy shit once in a while that shows that, you know, 2 for Tuesday. Do we really need to do this? But we do it. A lot of people still love that shit. So getting the let out, I just laugh every time. Every time I say it, I'm laughing now. I can't say it without laughing.
I work at an alternative station and I whip out the Whitesnake in the morning just so I can play a little bit, just so I can play the intro of Whitesnake. Okay. Like I'm missing out on all these great rock cliches. So I do them anyways, even though we don't play any of those bands.
Well, it's fun for you because you don't get stuck doing it for real. Like I have to do it for real. Like, hey, dude, guess what? We're getting pretty close to Rocktober, and goddamn, if that isn't a miserable month.
I totally do Rocktober. I love it. I love Rocktober.
So you're making fun of it. I can't. I got to sit there and just take my medicine every day, man.
All right, Robert Plant's going to be 73 on Friday. How many times have you seen him live?
Wow, I've seen him a couple times, only at Jazz Fest though, but in his various solo band. I saw him with who's the chick he did the album
Alison
with?
Krauss.
Alison Krauss. Saw that. That was absolutely spectacular.
Yeah,
like that was great. And I never saw her, and I didn't really care, but it really showed me because she's supposed to be this country bluegrass, like she's the one, Alison Krauss, and she was great. She sings, but man,
she's awesome.
When the Golden God stepped on stage and he starts doing Robert Plant shit, you're like, oh yeah, you might want to go sit in the corner because
it's good. Them together is really good
together. But man, when he's singing and he's doing the moves and he's still Robert Plant up there and she's standing there like a chunk of wood, you're like, yep, you could just see him outclassing her. And that's not taken away from her. She's still great, but you just see the difference. You know, he's coming off the stage at you. There's just a different world with him, man. It's just, he's the Golden God. How do you get that nickname? You know,
I did see Paige Plant, 97 Rock in Buffalo presented Paige Plant, and I did go to that show, and it was pretty badass. It was badass. That's as close as I ever got to Zeppelin. Our friend Dan, his third mention today on the show, God rest his soul. I'm sure he's watching from above. He was holding on to a ticket. And when Bonzo died, he went and he didn't get his money back. He wanted the ticket and he had it. Dan Chambers had the ticket. They were playing. They had a date in Buffalo that they had sold tickets to, and he had the ticket.
Damn.
So you've got 74 songs to choose from. Did you think there'd be more?
You know, yeah, you think there'd be about 200 because it gets played so much everywhere. But
some of those songs are 8-9 minutes long. So you think about the amount of albums and the length of their songs. They wrote some long ass songs. There's 74 songs to choose from. Top 5. This is your list. I'm going to let you go first. I do want to say one final thing. I'm going to be pissed off because the name of the song is not the chorus.
I know. And
it takes me a second to like hum the song. So you got to bear with me when you say the title of the song. Okay. And unless it's Livin' Lovin' Made, I'll know that. All right.
Yeah. That's the problem with it. Now you got to keep in mind, okay, I'm not the regular guy. I play the songs all the time. So you're not going to hear
your favorites. This is episode 21. These are your favorites. We know.
But it's not going to be Stairway to Heaven. It's not going to be When the Levee Breaks. It's not going to be that. I love all those songs, Ramble On and all that shit. I love those songs. Love those songs. Okay.
I got a feeling our lists are going to be very different this time.
Oh, I guarantee they're going to be very different because at number 5, and I can't even hum this one because it's kind of slow and it's kind of, it's just.
Is it Moby Dick?
It's. That's tough to listen to after a while. You're like, okay, we get it. You can play the drums. And I'm not going to say he's too drummy because that's reserved for Rush. Number 5, Down by the Seaside. Down by the Seaside from Physical Graffiti.
I wrote a lot of titles out because I was going through everything.
Down by this, it's slow. It's different. It sounds way different.
Did you play it on the air?
No, absolutely not. This is not a hit. This is not. Well, they didn't really have hits. They never released too many singles. We don't play this. This is, unless we're getting a let out. And it's a deep cut or some weird shit like that. Down by this.
Your head.
Down by the Seaside. Physical Graffiti. Now that was actually supposed to be on a prior album. They all punted it because nobody in the band liked the song except for Robert Plant. He had to fight for it. And Physical Graffiti was a double album. He's like, I got a song. And they're like, all right, put your stupid song on that album. So, and they never played it live because apparently the rest of the band didn't like it. But I love that song because it's not on the rest of them. And I do like it. It's a very cool song.
Dude, get your snobby ass list out of here. Number 5, I'm already done with you.
No. You're going to like number 4 then.
Okay.
Number 4 is really good. Fool in the Rain.
A European DB side that nobody's ever heard, actually.
Yeah, Khalid did a remix on it, and it's freaking great, man. You know,
I'm sorry, what's your 4?
Fool in the Rain. Fool in the Rain is it's got that samba beat in the middle, and it kind of breaks down.
Okay, I know Fool in the Rain. I know Fool in the Rain.
In Through the Outdoor. They never did it live. They never did this song live because of all the instrumentation and then, of course, the breakdown. Never did it live.
Sorry, I didn't know I was, the Van Halen, or I'm sorry, the Led Zeppelin fan club president here.
Dude,
he's going to give me the snobbiest list ever.
The the Led Zeppelin guys are going to be like, oh yeah, wow. And actually the idea for that song, Jimmy Page was actually watching a lot of World Cup soccer. And that year, World Cup soccer was in Brazil. That's where that song comes from. Yeah, I'm nerding hard today, bro.
You turn it on and rip the knob off.
I haven't. No, tomorrow's gonna be warm. I'm gonna be rocking the docks and shaking the lakes. Yeah.
Pumping maximum wattage into your cottage.
Please don't go down this road. I don't want to do this.
No, come on. This is your list. This is your list.
Number 3, Going to California.
I know that one.
Oh, well, congratulations. That's good. Real mellow guitars. Actually, from Zeppelin 4, inspired by, you're never going to believe this. Led Zeppelin, all in your face, rocking loud. That song, Going to California, inspired by Joni Mitchell. Very cool. In fact, Robert Plant used to call her out during the songs when they play it live. Nerd.
Going to California. I want to say the Gals in Heart did a cover of that on the single soundtrack. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I right?
I don't know if it was that one.
Right. I think the Gals sing that. I think Heart, at least the sisters, there's a Going to California cover that they sing, and it's just wicked.
Yeah.
And then you got to note the greatest live cover ever was when she did Stairway to Heaven in front of them at the Kennedy Center Honor Awards and whatever. But go ahead.
Balling and shit. Yeah.
So that was your third.
That was 3. Number 2, which you're going to be like, oh yeah, since you brought up Almost Famous, let's go to it. Number 2, Tangerine from Zeppelin 3. Tangerine is such a great fucking song, man. And if you watched Almost Famous, it's in the scene where the bus drives away.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of mellow, and it's, it's a great song.
Dude, what are you smoking when you're listening to Led Zeppelin? You are mellow.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just realizing that you're all
super mellow.
Dude, I played all the other stuff on the radio so much. I can't listen to it, man. I just
what do you
can't
like?
do it.
You like a little tie stick? What do you like? What you doing over there?
Well, then I'm gonna crank it up for my favorite song, my favorite Led Zeppelin song.
Ripping off the knob on this one,
dude. I'm not even going. I'm not doing it.
Bro, this is you. This is classic rock, bro.
No, number one, Out on the Tiles from Led Zeppelin 3. Out on the Tiles is so fucking great. It's not slow. It's badass. It's actually a Bonzo tune. He came up with the title because the phrase going out on the tiles is going out drinking in the bars. That's like talking about in British slang. We're gonna go out on the tiles, Rod. Tonight we're gonna hit the bar scene. So
hey, if anybody's left listening to the podcast, please stay tuned. I got a couple of songs that you guys have heard of before, so sit tight. But go ahead, cool story, bro.
Come on, Going to California is a big one. No, Out on the Tiles. Listen to it. It's very, very good. Very good.
Out on the Tiles is your favorite Led Zeppelin song.
Yeah, it's got swagger. It's cool as shit, and it never gets played. It doesn't.
I couldn't fucking hum it with a cannon pointed at my dick.
But see, here's the thing. Now you got homework to do. You can go listen to all these great songs and go, fuck, Ginty is right. Ginty's right. He doesn't, wait. You don't have to sit around and listen to Ramble On for the 97 millionth time. You can go listen to some interesting shit.
You've already capped on a few of my tunes, so just shut up, all right? I don't play this stuff every day,
which is great.
I don't listen to it every day, all right?
But see, this would be like us doing the top 5 Green Day songs. You'd be like, fuck it. I can't do it. Right. You'd be like digging around in the dirt for some cool shit too, man.
We will never do a top 5 Red Hot Chili Peppers song list on this show. All right, maybe that's what this is like for Jake. Okay, in at number 5. Hey, what can I do?
Oh, I do like that one.
It's a good summer jam, man. And that's mellow. Like now I know this, that if it's going to be Zeppelin, you want it to be like slow and you want it to be like a humper, like a humping, mellow, just kind of like, blue ball grinding in the backseat of your car song.
I do like that
one. Here we go. Hi, I'm Jason Ginty. I got a fun fact for you. That was the B-side to the Immigrant song.
Very good. Very good.
Did you know that?
I did. I actually, dude, I play this shit every day.
Fuck your face. In at number 4. That was like the one fun fact I had. Number 4, the song remains the same.
I do like that one too.
I do like the jamminess of it. And then when I'm mad again, I mean, it's cool. It kind of goes all over the place. I love the moodiness of that song. So that's my number 4. My number 3.
You know, I got a fun fact.
God damn it! I knew he was going to do that. No,
In
this
that
is
song,
this is you, baby. This is your bread and butter.
Robert Plant's vocals on the album version were sped up. They sped up his vocals. Boom! I'm out. That's all I'm going to say. They sped up his vocals.
All right.
I'm just telling you what I know, dude.
Listen, I don't doubt any of that stuff. I'll say this: it's not in my area of expertise, but I can tell you that Jimmy Page was an absolute assassin in the studio. So the stuff that he could do, the background, the backwards harmonicas and stuff, and the layering of the guitars.
Yep.
I mean, everybody, the 3 musicians in that band are 3 of the greatest musicians of all time. And, you know, the poor bass player doesn't get talked about enough, but he could play anything, keyboards, all that stuff.
Mandolin.
They were just unbelievable. And Bonzo is that good. I mean, he just, you know, how many bands would lose their drummer and say, we can't play anymore? The drummer, it's coming from a drummer. Just put someone else in there. No, we can't. We absolutely cannot. When you watch some of these YouTube videos and they break down what John Bonham was doing and the off tempo and the offbeat, how they complemented each other, I'm telling you, it's an absolute thing of beauty how they work together. Which leads me to number 3, the power of the riff. Just come up with a riff and hammer it over and over and over and over and over again in the evening. 1979, In Through the Outdoor, and just do it again, and then it's so good. Do it again, and then just the riff over and over and over again. I love it. I absolutely have always loved that song. I thought that was before I started this. I thought, is that going to be my number 1? I knew it was going to be a top 5 for me.
Damn.
When the Levee Breaks, the greatest recorded drum sound ever. Did you hear me? Think about the history of recorded drums. The drums, how that starts. They're in the house. I know it. They don't even need to mic the bass drum up. It's just got natural reverb from the room that they're in. The Beastie Boys stole it. Drum beat's been stolen a million times. When the Levee Breaks.
So great.
Plus the meaning and what it means to New Orleans, you know, and that song took on a whole different, and then there's a local band, Bonerama. They're a trombone band. Mark Mullins is an assassin on the trombone with his group. He plays the lead trombone, and he's got a whammy wah-wah pedal, and he plays Hendrix and everything on his trombone. They do arguably the greatest cover ever of When the Levee Breaks, because he can sing his ass off. Mark, I love you. Mark can sing his ass off and play that trombone like nobody.
If you want to open up a can of worms and get a bunch of drummers talking for weeks on end, ask them all to talk about how they recorded the When the Levee Breaks, because you go down rabbit holes with drummers, man. Some say, you know, it has some certain gear on it. It was double tracked. You get down these rabbit holes with drummers talking, and I don't know shit about any of this stuff, but no one has ever definitively said this is how it was recorded. In fact, I've seen some videos where like one of the engineers who were there talked about it. It's not, that's what we fucking did, man. We hung some mics and we let it rip.
But it's so airy. It's so airy sounding.
Open. And he's smashing the shit out of them too, man.
And the thing that I heard is they didn't even mic up the bass drum. And I've always heard that story. It's just the best recorded drum sound of all time. When the Levee Breaks comes in at number 2, and my number 1, I'm sorry to be such a simpleton, but it's the first single ever from the band, and it still holds up to me because I don't play it every day, but Good Times, Bad Times is still an unbelievable song, and it is my absolute favorite Led Zeppelin song of all time. Still always loved playing it on the drum. I mean, he's just, you know, he's working that again. A lot of when I listen to Led Zeppelin, I'm listening to the drums and just how he could just bounce his one foot. It's unbelievable what he could do with just a single bass. Now he could play double bass, but boy, what he could do with one foot just was unbelievable. I think Good Times, Bad Times, the first time that Zeppelin was played on the radio.
I think it is one of their very first songs. And they didn't release a lot of singles. They just said, hey, here's our shit. Go play it.
Correct.
So,
but
I don't know if it was
the first thing that people grabbed. It may have been the first time that anybody ever heard the band.
When
not lost on me the sound of that.
So that came out in 69. Think about that. 1969. Okay. You didn't have all the cool digital studio shit. It was all analog. Like you talked about a minute ago, Jimmy Page was a studio, magician. He had like hung microphones all over the studio to get that huge. They wanted that song to sound really live, like live sounding when they were playing. So it just got this huge sound to it. Godsmack did a cover of that. I forgot about they did Good Times, Bad Times.
It's pretty good too.
It's not bad,
It's pretty good because they're a drum forward band. Sully is a drummer. If you've ever seen Godsmack, they do the dueling drum solo. And their drummer is great. So when you're a band that respects the drums like Godsmack does, okay, go ahead and grab something like that. Because I do feel, the drums, it's a lead instrument on that. It really is.
So, and I've always had this question, because people have covered like Led Zeppelin songs and in other bands. And this is just I'm throwing out a musician's question because I'm not one. But like, if you're going to cover Led Zeppelin and you're the drummer, do you have to fucking note by note him, or do you feel like you're doing a disservice, or are you so far left in the dust that you can't? So you just try?
Yeah. I don't think there's a lot of drummers that can do it. And you're not going to do it with that fierceness. There's stories of him lining his bass drum with tinfoil, to make it more snappy and make it louder. And I mean, he just was, or covering the felt of the foot pedal with tinfoil, and just so it had just snap anything that would be louder. But what he did and the feel and how he played, it's just. There was nothing else to put it. There was nothing to compare it to. It was so unconventional. And what he did and the off timing stuff that he did, I can say this, man, I always kind of gave the kid shit, but his son can do all that stuff. His son should, but it's not a given, that you're going to be able to do that. Wolfgang Van Halen's not going to sit there and shred like Eddie, but I'll tell you what, man, Jason Bonham is a really, really good drummer, man. I mean, nobody studied John Bonham like his son, and he can pull that shit off. And he does it when he plays with Sammy Hagar. Right. He does it and he pulls it off live, and I've seen it. And I've never gone to see his Zeppelin. He does some kind of a Zeppelin thing with movies playing in the background, and he's got real good musicians with him and stuff. But when you cover Led Zeppelin, you're you're doing the basics. You're not capturing the. You can do a cover of a Van Halen song. It's just good luck.
Right. Good luck.
What you do is you say, this is my interpretation of it, because you can't do what he did, So you kind of just say, no, that was my take on it. Well, just tell me you can't do it. All right, Rod. Well, obviously, if you've got a Led Zeppelin list, please share it on our all our different pages. We got YouTube, wherever you get our podcasts, on our Facebook, on our Twitter, on our Instagram. Just let us know your top 5, man, and then give me shit for my weird fucking ass Led Zeppelin songs that I picked. But go listen to them, because you're gonna be like, shit, Ginty's right. This is a good song, which is why we do this, so that you can explore. Rod's got number 6. You know what? Immigrant Song. I don't know that really. I love that. Sorry, I got to get in 6 to 10 to know any of your songs. Immigrant Song. You know what brought it back for me? And here you go. It was in the one of the Thor movies, I guess. And I was like watching it going, God damn, that sounds like Led Zeppelin in a Thor movie. What the hell? And then it was perfect. The way they use it in the scene, I was like, oh, I forgot how good that song was. Shit. And it made me like the song again after playing it, when I get the lead out every day on the classic rock station. Is the full name of the song Over the Hills and Far Away? Because that's my number 6. That's my number 6. Yeah. I mean, we could do this all day. And then I didn't even want to tell you, All of My Love was actually 7. Sorry, don't throw anything at me. I know you play it every day.
That one's a great song too, man. And but I was like, I can't keep putting these slow songs on this damn list. I can only go so far.
Songs on your list.
No. Out on the Tiles is fast. Fool in the Rain speeds up, and I love the musicality. It's all over the board with Fool in the Rain. So anyway, there you go. Give us your top 5 favorite Led Zeppelin songs of all time. Next week we'll do Red Hot Chili Peppers so that you can go fuck.
I sent Jason an article. One of the last things we're going to talk about before we wrap up this show, soft suburban dad syndrome.
This is funny.
The name is funny. I mean, dad bods kind of, came into fashion about 5 or 6 years ago. This is a little play on that, but we're going to do a little self-exam. I'm going to conduct a little self-exam. All I ask is honesty. I'm not going to be sticking my finger in any body parts or anything.
Oh, man. See, I had my pants around my ankles. I was ready to go on this one. Damn.
Coming up, where are you on the scale of soft suburban dad syndrome? We'll get into it. Don't go anywhere. Let me tell you about one of our great sponsors. I mean, there's so many of them, but these guys, they've been with us since episode 1, if you can believe that. And they must still be paying because we're still talking about them.
Yeah.
New Orleans, an amazing city. I was just there. I was so happy to be back roaming around the French Quarter. And I love it. I love the city. And I was back last weekend. And the history and everything, none of it is ever lost on me. And Jason, I know, feels the same way, coming from up north. You're just walking around the French Quarter, and it was always special. And it was all over again. It was special. So if you're going to New Orleans and you're going to want to go, work in a tour with our good friends, the Pirates of the Quarter. All right. Where you're walking and you're partying balls in the French Quarter, real pirates used to roam the streets there in the French Quarter. The trade deals that went on, all the rum, everything that went on over there. Hear the incredible tales of the smuggling and the sword fights and the cannons and the rum from pirates. Piratesofthequarter.com is the website. They've got @Pirates of the Quarter on social, everything. It is the most unique walking tour in the French Quarter. It's fun. You are going to learn a ton. You're able to walk around, you stop in, you get a drink. Okay, hang on, pirate. Boom, boom, boom. You get your drink, and then boom, you're learning about all this great stuff. So you're partying, you're going to learn stuff. You're going to have a good time. Piratesofthequarter.com. Links on the Play Pants podcast page, YouTube page. It's an award-winning tour in the great city of New Orleans. And again, I can't say it enough. I was so happy to be back. And I got to see Jason face to face with his lovely wife and his kid. So thank you for coming over, dude, and chilling with us a little bit. It was great.
You know what was great about it was to actually see humans again and get to connect. I think we all kind of felt that way. We haven't seen each other face to face in what, year and a half or some shit. It's been a long time. And you know what? You just talked about us when you were mentioning about going to Lucky's or on August 27th. Rod will be there, by the way. How weird it is to get on the microphone and get in front of a crowd, and how
hi, what's my name again?
Like I went in, like I'm like, holy shit, cruising to your place. We're all excited. We're all like, yeah. And then you go in for the hug, and I was kind of like you go in for a hug, you go in 100%, right? You're I was like 75%. I was like, yeah, dude, what, man? I don't know where you been, bro. Like it's in my head. I was like, I'll give you 75%. I'll lean a little bit away from you. Like it's fucked up. So it's and it was weird, but it was so great hanging out with your daughter. Oh my God, dude, she's a rip, man. She's funny as hell.
Yeah, she's getting funny.
Shit,
she's got a personality on her. Very sassy.
Yeah, it was great, man. It was just great to hang and we didn't do shit. We sat there and watched people walk by. It was great. It was so much fun just doing nothing, man. And that must be what suburban dads do, I guess, because we both kind of are.
So in the decades now, you hearing me? In the decades now, since we have graduated from college, marriages have happened, children have happened.
Yeah.
Careers have come, gone, opportunities, things, that, the other thing. All right.
Jesus.
you know, and whether or not you literally settle down in the suburb, there's something out there, and it's called soft suburban dad syndrome. Maybe I was feeling a little bit of this because I'm the weirdo that had a kid and moved back into the city. I was living in the suburbs the whole time that I was single and wild and ready to mingle and everything. I had a house outside. And then I'm the psycho that moved closer. But this really isn't about proximity. I think they kind of just throw that in there to kind of paint a picture, you know. But most times people do move further and further. And Jason, I'll say, Jason used to live in Uptown, had a beautiful, beautiful house. And he went a little bit more in the suburban area from where he did live. Right. So these are moves that we're making. So they put out this kind of a checklist. And it was talking about, and I don't know, it's from some dude, bro, hey man website. But they talked about physical and mental and social and things to kind of just keep yourself in check. Are you falling into this kind of rut? Because it can happen.
It certainly can.
It can happen. You start doing the day-to-day, then you start doing the kid thing, then you're driving the kid to this practice, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing that. And it's just everything is put on hold, and kids do it to you the most. And I've realized that, and I've only had a kid for 3 years. You learned a long time ago how busy and how much of a, I don't want to use the term time suck, but it just becomes all of your efforts and all of your thoughts go to your kid. It just happens.
It does. And what's interesting is that, and I think you and I talked about this quite a bit before you had your kid, because apparently I was the one with all this sage parenting advice, which I would never take parenting advice from me. I've been blessed with a couple of great moms. Okay. Believe me, if it wasn't for them, my kids would not be doing very well. So that being said, you know, my wife and I, when we had my son, we made a conscious decision. We said, look, here's what we're going to do. Okay. I've seen millions of parents, through friends, everybody. They go from being this couple who are going out drinking, having fun, and living their life. And then they have this kid, and they just become these mommies and daddies pushing the stroller. And then their life seems to just end.
Right.
It just ends. And all they do is focus on that kid. And my wife and I sat down and we're like, we're not doing that. Nope. This kid is going to learn to go with us everywhere. This kid is going to adapt our lifestyle. We are not going to adapt its lifestyle.
I mean, you're not taking him to happy hour and stuff like that.
He's not going to the Motorhead show. You know what I mean? Like, not yet anyway. Right.
Right.
He was 9 months old. We took him to Jazz Fest.
Yep.
Took him to Jazz Fest. It was fine. It was, you know, when he was young, the first couple of times, took him to restaurants. Bit of a pain in the ass, but you teach and you learn, and the kid learned. And that kid, man, yes, we're moms and dads about things, but it's a different way. That kid, I didn't disrupt my life as much as I see other people disrupting their life.
Absolutely. And, you know, I put out a picture on my Instagram of, you know, me and London, and we're at Red Dress Run. You know, I'm wearing a dress. My kid's wearing a red dress. I'm wearing a dress. We didn't go into the craziness of Bourbon Street and stuff, but we still went in for Red Dress Run. It's one of my wife's favorite things. And I did learn that from you. Still do things. I did take my kid to Jazz Fest, you know, and I would have taken her this go around had it not been canceled.
Right.
You can't take your kid into a bar. You can't do those things. No. But you still, you don't have to end your life because of the kid. And I think a little bit of this, but some of this is health, some of this is mental. So let's just run through this little checklist here and just kind of check in. So it's called soft suburban dad syndrome. And it's just kind of like a little checklist for you. And I'm not doing great on this list. So
I'm fucking killing it. I'm killing it, dude. I'm fucking killing this list. Come on, bring it.
Can you do at least 60 minutes of physical activity every day? Now, it doesn't say do you, it says can you, which is a different thing there.
Absolutely.
So no, I don't do at least 60 minutes of physical activity every day. But if there's one thing that I did learn, and no, it didn't take me an hour to run those 5Ks, but it was nice and it was very reassuring to me that I could still do that stuff. And I still go and I run the hill and I do some stuff here. I'm not working out the way that I should. Clearly, the kid has gotten in the way of that, but I need to do a better job of that. But I can still do physical activity. I know I can. I got to do it more before it goes away.
Absolutely. You have it's a skill. You got to keep doing it. Me, I run 30 miles a week. So I'm getting an hour every day, no problem. You know, but that was a conscious choice I made about a year and a half ago. I wasn't beforehand because I was falling into the dad bod suburban syndrome, whatever this thing's called. And I forced myself out of it. So yeah, can I do an hour of physical activity every day? Bet your ass I can. But my schedule's not like yours. Your issue is you fucking get up at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. See, if you go and do all your jobs and then come home, do whatever you do, are you going to exercise at 7 o'clock at night? You're not, because then you're going to be up all night because all the endorphins are released. So to exercise at night is hard.
But it's not an excuse. You got to just find a way to do it. You got to find some kind of way to do it.
You do. And I get up early so I can do my exercising.
Can you hold a squat for 30 seconds?
Hold a squat for 30 seconds.
Stand up. Let's go.
What the fuck is that?
This is going to be good for the podcast.
Yeah. No, this is great audio. So
here we go. Did you run today?
Yeah, of course.
How far?
I only did 5 miles this morning.
Okay. I don't feel bad for doing this then. What do you want out of a squat?
I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't seem very hard.
But you got to hold
a squat. It says, can you hold a squat for 30 seconds? I want to do one thing on this list that I want to make myself feel good.
I didn't even see this list. Where's this?
Can we squat for 30? I'm going to time us right here. I got a timer.
Like I'm just sitting down, squatting, like on my knee. I'm not on my
jackass. Not sit down. Did I say, can you sit for 30 seconds? You've been sitting for an hour and a half already.
It does feel good to stand up. I got to be honest.
So a squat is just like you're an alpine skier. Okay, let's get down and squat.
Ooh, that's hard.
Ready?
That's not easy.
Okay, 30 seconds. Here we go. All right. So let's talk about some other fun things. We are at 5 seconds now.
Can it be over? Wait.
So you got to get your ass all the way back there. I can feel it. You know, can you feel it in your hammies?
I can feel it in the hammies. I can feel it in my thighs. I can feel it in my calves. I can feel it everywhere. I don't like it.
All right, we're at 20 seconds. This is easy. I don't have suburban fat boy syndrome.
No.
26, 27, 28,
all right,
29,
we got
30. That wasn't bad. That was easy.
All day long.
I don't think I sent you this list because I didn't want you to know. Is your waist bigger than 40 inches? Jason, what is your waist right now? Mine is not bigger than 40 inches. What is your waist?
I'm a 31. I had to buy all new clothes in the last 6 months.
Your waist is 31?
Yeah, I weigh the same I did it when I was in 12th grade.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude. I've been working my ass off for the last. I was never fat. Okay. First of all, look, I'm not saying I'm some weight loss guy and like I lost 1 million pounds. I'm 30 pounds lighter than I was a year and a half ago from exercising and diet. So yeah, 31 inches on my waist. It's tight. It's tight. You want to feel it, dude? It's good. It's good.
No, I don't. I don't.
It's nice.
So I when I was working out before, while my wife was pregnant, I did the worst thing ever. I got in the best shape of my life.
Yeah.
While my wife was getting big.
Yeah, that might have been wrong.
I'm losing weight. My wife's getting bigger. You know, and girls, you know, they know, you know, you're pregnant, you know, it's your time to do it and just let it go. But you still have emotions and everything. And then you see your husband losing weight. What an asshole. So I got back in the 34s. Jesus. And it was awesome. 34. I haven't worn 34 since I was in high school. Now I'm back in the 36s after the panty. Damn it.
Yeah.
So I'm back into the 36s. I'm pissed. All right, here we go. How often do you feel bored? And again, what we're doing here is we're just I'm running through some of the highlights of the soft suburban dad syndrome. How often do you feel bored?
Not very often, because if I feel bored, I immediately get up and I find something to do. I'm not that guy that's going to sit around and be bored too often. You know, I mean, we're doing a podcast every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. I don't have a lot of time for bored. Are you sitting around bored very often?
I don't remember the last time I was bored. That's the God's honest truth. That's the God's honest truth. I don't remember. I should, and I should probably relax. I cannot. There's just something to do at all times. There's never something that doesn't need to be done.
Right.
I'll go to Harvey Danger on this. Bored people are boring. And I do believe that. I've said it before on the radio. Not everybody agreed with me. Bored people are boring. Why are you bored?
I can go with that. I don't remember the last time
I wasn't just a little bit tired. And I don't remember the last time I was this much bored and my index finger is right next to my thumb. I don't remember being bored. There's just something to do, man. There's just create something, man. Get online. I mean, I can always Jason does so much social media. He does all the social stuff, everything for the play pants. I'm sure it's in the back of your head too, with the other things that you do. It's like, I got 20 minutes. I go make something online. I'll whip out Photoshop and make something quickly.
What's funny is, like, if I watch a movie, like last night, sat down, watched a movie with the wife. She's like, "Want to watch a movie?" I'm like, "Shit, a school night? You bet your ass I do." And it was, for whatever reason, we ate dinner early and we were all good to go. But you know what? 10 minutes into the movie, I'm like, the movie was fine. And I'm like, oh, I should be doing this. I should be doing that. See, my problem is the opposite side. I always feel like I got other shit to do. And to me, watching a movie, I feel like I'm wasting time.
That's me. But here's how I justify it. I can watch a movie if the dishwasher's running. Something's happening. Okay. If there's a fucking load of clothes tumbling around, I can watch a movie. I have to justify those things. There has to be, okay, I'm doing a deep clean on my computers. I'm doing whatever. I'm defragging my computers. Okay, I can sit down and watch something for 30 minutes. I just don't watch. The TV's on in the background all the time. We did watch. Did you watch White Lotus?
I haven't. No.
You heard of it?
Yeah. No, I hear it's supposed to be awesome.
It's not. I don't know that it's awesome. It's really good though. It's the first thing that I've I knew that it was limited. It was 6 episodes. They're about an hour a piece. And you're not going to not like it.
Right.
It's not the best thing I ever saw, but it's good. And I recommend it. Let me see here. Okay. When was the last time you learned a new skill?
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
Those are things that you start to you think that you don't need to learn anything anymore. And that's probably a pretty sad thing.
No. You always need to learn new stuff. That's what keeps your brain working for when you get older. You got to keep your mind sharp. Actually, you know what? I've been doing a lot of fishing the last year and a half because can't do shit else. So I've been going with my kid fishing, and we were watching one day these guys in Louisiana, man, believe me, dudes know how to fish here, and I don't know what I'm doing still. But and fishing isn't necessarily a skill, but I get better at it every time we go.
Like everybody in Louisiana is like a pro though. Like they've got they're pro status on fishing.
Like me and my kid, we just laugh. We're like, look at us, we don't know what we're doing, but we're catching fish. So I was watching these guys use these things called casting nets. So you got this net, right? And what you do is if you see a school like bait fish swimming near you, you take this net, and when you throw it properly, it opens up into a big circle, and it's got weights all around the edge of the net, and then it sinks when it hits the water, and it traps all the fish, and then you pull it out and you got all these bait fish. You can use it if shrimp are running along the shoreline or anything like that. So my kid's like, hey, you should get one of those. We should try that. So I'm still kind of learning that skill because I can't get the fucker to open up properly. My kid gives me shit every time.
I know what you're talking about. It's like roping a cattle. I mean, you got to throw it just right.
And I get twisted up in it. And so I can't claim that I've learned that skill, but you know what? I just a couple of weeks ago, I think I told you about this when you were here. I drove a boat for the first time in probably 35 years. I drove a boat the other day or last week when I was at the beach. Rented a boat, pontoon boat, took the family out on it. They're like, do you know how to drive this thing? And I said, yeah, of course I do. I did, and I lied. And we went out. The dude showed me how to do it. I did it. It was great. So I wouldn't call that a skill either, but
right.
I'm going to continue to challenge myself. What about you? You learning new skills?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think I have a new skill. I know the things that I know. In the last couple of years, I've taught myself Photoshop. I was proud of myself for doing that. I'm still I'm still not up to par on the video editing. You've gotten really, really good at that. That's of course things that are sitting on your ass. I thought about buying a ukulele. I thought that would be kind of cool to learn to play that. That seems to be like a hipster thing to do, and maybe sit around and sip on a LaCroix and play my ukulele. And I've got a harmonica here that I've kind of always thought about. I just can't sit down and take a YouTube lesson unless I've got the dishwasher rolling and 3 loads of laundry working. I'm not going to be able to put in the time, man. I don't have a new skill. Jason, I do not have a new skill. I don't know if that puts me in a soft suburban dad syndrome, but these are all things. No. They're just thought starters for you to not get in a rut. Some of these things are silly. Like, when's the last time you crawled around on the floor? Well, you have a 3-year-old, you do that every day. So there's a lot of things that, from a physical standpoint, that I wouldn't be doing as a 51-year-old man, but having a 3-year-old, you have no choice. No, every time that kid wants to do something, you got to do it on the floor. Yeah. She wants to do it on the floor. You got to play on the floor. You're crawling around. And then I'm crawling around because half that shit's going underneath the stool or underneath the couch, and I'm digging it out. I got my dog jumping on me. And then as soon as the dog jumps on me, the kid's pounding on me, jumping on my back. And it's like Royal Rumble in there. That's every day. That's every single day.
Okay, but here's the challenge. And I don't know what age that we all start doing this, but I remember being a kid. And I remember watching my grandfather. Anytime he'd get up, you'd hear the old, he'd be like, oh, all right, okay, all right. Well, so anyway, we're going to get, and then I heard my dad do it when I got older. He's like, and I caught myself doing it a little bit. I'm like, I was doing the old man grunt to get out of my chair and out of the ground. And I just made a mental note. Okay, don't do that anymore. Don't. So I work very hard not to make the and all the grunting. I'm just like, you know what? I'm an active dude. Yeah. Does it hurt? Yeah, of course it does. I don't need to make that sound. I'm not deadlifting 500 pounds. I'm getting out of a chair. I don't need to make the sound. And it drives me nuts when I do.
You know what I do? I kind of wind up to get out of bed now. Like, I kind of like my legs go up. Like, I think I should just slide out of bed and just go. No big deal. And I think because sometimes my kid usually crawls in there. I got my wife in there, and the alarm goes off at 3:20. So I hit that. Oof. I sit there for a minute. I'm just like, fuck my life. And then I'm like, well, I chose this life, so I'm going to go do it. I don't complain. It's just an everyday little process. But I take the covers back, and I think I wind my legs up, and I got a momentum out. I wouldn't really like to be caught on camera doing that, but I can't. I probably would make noise getting out of bed in the morning, but I can't because I got people sleeping. Right. So I probably would. So that's probably helping me. But I think your bones, you get calcified, but your brain does too. And a lot of these things that they were talking about with this soft suburban dad syndrome is your mental. Now, all the things that we've already talked about are great for your mental. Learning a new skill, a new adventure, like Jason riding a boat. All of that stuff is good. It's going to be really good for your mental, And if you're feeling bored, that's got to be terrible for your mental. There's nothing working. If you're bored, there's nothing working. There's no soup stirring. I always use you got to stir the soup. And if you're bored, it's just, I remember what it's like to be bored. I think I was a kid. Yeah. The last time I was bored, I was a kid. You came home, or you were laying around during summer when you were off of school, and you weren't allowed to say you were bored in my house. No. You weren't allowed to say it. Oh, you're bored? I'll give you something. You got nothing to do? I'll give you something to do.
You got something to do now. Yep.
It was just like that. There was never, oh, Mom, I'm bored. There's nothing to do. I mean, we weren't a family that went to Disney every year and went all these trips. We didn't go anywhere. No. We had to go and just take care of ourselves.
You had to find something to do.
You weren't allowed to say you were bored.
Never.
It just was you never even uttered those words.
You know what's funny is that, and I just was watching an interview, oddly enough, with Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, and it's an old interview, but I was watching it, and it was like when they went it was right before they did the Kennedy Center honors. Okay, so Charlie Rose sat down with them, and they talked about time or anything like that. And Robert Plant says, back in the day, time went kind of slow. He goes, but now that we're getting up there, time seems to gallop by like a racehorse. The older you get, time seems to go faster. And the last couple of years, I've noticed it. I'm like, what the hell happened? The sun just came up. It's already going down. Now I stay active. I'm busy all day long. So time goes fast. If you're on a project and your head's in it hard, 8 hours goes by in 5 minutes. I mean, we've all done that situation. We're like, holy shit, where'd the day go?
Yep.
But I'll never forget, I was listening to an interview and it was great. Okay. And again, you know, we talked about Hamilton a long time ago, and I know this is a weird reference, but it'll make sense in a second. Hamilton is a musical, and it's all about, you know, Alexander Hamilton, one of the founding fathers. Well, he did so many things before he got killed in that duel. Like, he was very young. I forget what age he was, but he was very young when he got killed. But he did like 3 lifetimes worth of work in that short amount of period of time. And I was listening to an interview with Lin-Manuel, who wrote Hamilton. And he's kind of the same guy. He's always busy. He's writing. He's got 10 different projects. He wrote songs for Moana, which I'm sure you're well aware of.
Oh, yeah. And he's got that new project out, The Heights. But
The
yeah,
Heights in Hamilton.
You're welcome.
He's written so many things. So the lady said, hey, there's kind of a comparison there between you and Alexander Hamilton. You know, how are you so prolific? How do you keep working? And he just said, and it's the greatest thing I ever heard. He goes, the clock just ticks louder for some people. And I went, like that. Holy shit. And now I hear this clock ticking, because everyone's clock is ticking all the time, dude. It's always clicking. You don't know what it ends. It's always clicking and it's always ticking. So get some shit done. If you're bored, you're wasting time. And if you're on your phone playing games and that kind of shit, no, that's bored too. That is not stirring the soup. Goofing around on your phone is not stirring the soup. Scrolling Facebook and all that shit, not stirring the soup, man. You got to stir the soup. You got to get out there. Force yourself to do something, you know?
Some of these quick other mental things. When was the last time you read an entire book? I've been a little bit of a book nerd. I've been pushing my little book agenda on you, telling you I've been reading some stuff. Now, I've slowed down since, but I read a couple of books this year. And, you know, it's not a lot. I just don't have a whole lot of time.
No.
Probably the time that I am reading, I should be jumping rope or something, but I do think that is really, really good. I mean, one of the things, you know, my mom, her physicality is just done. My mom's just not moving anywhere. She just doesn't move. Shuffles around the house a little bit, and that's it. She's reading 30 books a month.
Holy shit.
Can you imagine?
It's awesome.
She's reading 30 books a month. She's a maniac. Her brain is all there.
It's good.
But when you're reading 30 books, you're not doing anything else. So that was a little bit of my muse. And you feel smarter when you read, and then it's okay. It's just like, you know, posting about your fucking workouts and you're pushing your shit and you're telling everybody that you're doing all these things. It's like, yeah, man, I'm reading a book right now. I'm happy with myself. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like things that you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be running and telling people that you're running. You're supposed to be reading a book and say, hey, man, I'm reading this really good book right now. It's just different. I know that audiobooks are big. Look what we're doing now. A lot of people using their spare time in podcast, you know, listening to podcasts. I found that reading a book and reading words that you don't say every day, it helps in your communication skills.
Yeah.
Because normally, if it's I'm reading dumb rock star books, you know that. And, you know, there's a ghostwriter or somebody that's putting these words together a little bit more eloquently than maybe the, you know, Slash could. But it's good for you, man. It's really good for your brain. I found that number one, it does relax me. And if you start getting into a book and it's a page turner, then I will allow myself to go a little extra, you know, I'll go an extra 10 minutes or so. It's been a really good feeling. The same kind of, it's not like when you work out, you know, you feel great after you work out. You never feel bad walking out of the gym after you get done running. You're tired, but you're so happy you did it. Yes. There's a little bit of that in reading.
Absolutely.
But I found that, and I just didn't do it for the longest time. And I'm trying to do it more.
It's just changing up your day to day. You got to change up your routine. I mean, you need a routine. You gotta be structured to a certain point, but you got to change it up. I'm not like sitting down reading novels or anything, but I read a lot of books for different research and different projects I'm working on. So I'm always reading something, you know, and it is good. You know, you can learn a new skill through reading, or go, hey, whoa, I never tried that. Let me try that. That seems kind of badass, you know? That's what the great thing about reading a book is, but I can't tell you the last full book I read, because when I'm doing research, I'm just kind of looking for what I want to find, and I'll read half a book and be like, all right, that's enough of that. I got what I needed. Okay, I'm moving on. You know, I have not sat down and read a book because I wanted to in a long time. And people, like you said, audiobooks, I run a lot. So you'd think, put the audiobook on. I haven't tried it yet. You know, I probably should because I'd be doing two things at once. That's some serious multitasking. I could be reading books as I'm running.
Have you ever listened to a podcast when you're running?
No, I can't listen to a bunch of people talking all the time, dude. Who does that?
Who would do that? Who would do such nonsense?
Why would you do such a horrible thing to yourself? No.
Meanwhile, if you're running right now and you're listening to us, keep going, man.
Keep going. You got this. Keep going. Another mile. No, but like the audiobooks.
Watch out for that squirrel.
I think audiobooks, I feel like I would be learning stuff. I don't know if I would get distracted or it would just make the running go by faster. Because I know when I listen to I do listen to podcasts when I drive. If I'm going to travel far distances, I'll put in a podcast and it makes the drive go a lot faster. So I don't know if that would do that with running or not. I'm not sure. I've yet to try that out.
Just a bunch of stuff. You know, when was the last time you did something that, you know, caused you to or forced you to be creative? We have jobs that it's kind of mandatory.
Every day,
it's mandatory.
You know,
you have to. You absolutely have to create. These jobs I think what you and I do keep us a little bit younger, keep you a little bit more plugged in, keep you a little bit in the know. I'm embarrassed about the amount of pop culture shit that I know. I'm embarrassed that I could tell you every Kardashian and every Jenner and every boyfriend, and I can talk about Tristan Thompson and who cheated. And it's just because I'm getting ready for the show, you're seeing these things. And I'm lucky enough that I'm able to retain some of that stuff. It's embarrassing to know this stuff, but it keeps you a little younger. But if you're in a situation where you're not doing something creative, I don't have any suggestions for you. I don't know what you do. You know, start your own podcast. I don't want any more competition, so don't do that.
No, but if you
I don't know what you do.
If you if you're a dude who works with your hands and you're a plumber, but you used to paint when you were a kid or used to draw, start drawing again. Just start drawing. You know, I got buddies that were awesome artists when they were in high school and in college, and they just stopped for whatever reason. They went and had kids and they never drew again. I'm like, damn, that's a shame because that dude had a real talent and it was really good shit. Imagine, you know, if you did that in high school, if you did something like that, go back and start doing it again, man. It's a hobby. It's fun. It's not, a lot of this stuff isn't expensive. You know, these hobbies that we can get, you know, I mean, I want to go throw axes. I've never done that before. I want to learn how to throw an axe like a bitch. I see Jason Momoa throwing axes all the time. I'm like, that looks cool. I want to throw fucking axes, dude.
Yeah, there's a couple of places here in town that do it. It's just really bizarre. Axes and beers and stuff. It's like,
no, I would never do that. I want to set up a thing in my backyard.
That's what they're doing now. They're axing and beers. It's like there's some clever name for it too. And I'll you know, like axes and suds, something. It's clearly better than that, but there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. But like, I want to learn it like as a skill. I want to be able to throw an axe and have it stick in a tree or some shit. That's cool as hell. Because my dad used to, we'd be out working on something. And he'd always have a knife, and then whenever he was done, you know, cutting something or doing something, he could take and throw that thing, and it would stick into a tree stump, or he could just throw it on the table. You know, like in the movies when they throw the knife and it always sticks into the table. It sticks standing up every time. I'm like, that's a skill that looks badass. I don't know what the use of it is. But that's a cool thing to do. And I can't do that. I might sit around just whipping knives just to get them to stick in the furniture. That could be bad.
Well, it's a great way to wrap this up because it also says, you know, so that you don't get into this soft suburban dad syndrome, set goals for yourself. You got to put pressure on yourself. The stuff's just not going to happen on its own. You got to put a little pressure on yourself. You got to make the decision to go for a walk or go for a run or just grab a book, find a book, spend money on it. Don't spend money on a book so that you feel like, oh, damn, I spent $25 on that book. I got to read it now. Okay, that's pressure. You're putting pressure on yourself. But give yourself a goal if you've got a book. I'm all about the goals and giving myself a time frame. I'm a numbers guy. So, you know, I want to read 5 books. I just don't feel like that's 4 books. Once a quarter. So that's 1 book every 3 months. My mom's reading 30 books a day or a month. So it's possible. You just got to make the time to do it. But you got to give yourself a goal. I will be mad if I don't get my 4 books in. I'm going to get my 4 books in this year. The one that I'm working on now, it's thick. So, but I have a goal.
50 pages?
I have a goal. Yeah, right?
Was it big print? Jesus.
Thick. There's no pictures. What the fuck? Who makes a book about Chris Cornell with no pictures in it. He was the most handsome man on the planet. Put some pictures in there, man.
Good looking. Man. It's
give yourself goals. So there you have it. It's soft suburban dad syndrome. I think you guys kind of know where we're going with that.
Yeah. You gotta just find it. It's about making a list. I'm terrible at that, but I find when I make a list, even if you just go, if you start off nice and slow, nice and easy, make the bed.
Dude, I'm staring at 10 lists right now. I'm a Post-it note guy. I'm highlighter. I'm paper.
I got shit
everywhere. But I'm looking at 10 lists in front of me right now. It's stupid.
Yeah, I got cork boards now with lists, and I put thumbtacks in them, and I got projects written down. I got shit all over my room that you can't see on the YouTube version of this thing. But yeah, make a list, make it an easy list, and start just chipping away at things, man. If you used to draw, go draw. If you used to, work with your hands with wood and you don't anymore, go get some saws and shit and start building stuff. If you miss doing it, just what else you doing, man? I know you got to work and you got kids, you got family, you got responsibilities. You can find time. You always can. You can, and you should.
I agree.
You
I agree.
totally
100%.
should. You should, and that's my final thought.
Is that your final thought?
Yeah, because it just seemed to work nice. I didn't want to get into anything else.
My final thought is my proposed top 5 list that Jason took a shit on.
Well, I didn't take shit on it.
Today is Patrick Swayze's birthday. The Sways.
Dude, I love that guy.
I don't think they called him the Sways. Patrick Swayze's birthday today from Houston, Texas. As soon as I mentioned that, then I got my friend's brother's sister's aunt took dance lessons from his mom. His mom was a dance instructor here. She was a teacher. My friend's cousin's nephew went to school with him. My uncle's sister's brother had the same babysitter. I heard it all today. I absolutely heard it all today. So there's a lot of 6 degrees of separation with Patrick Swayze here. So I had proposed, and I figured our lists were going to be about the same. So I like the Zeppelin way better today. Best Patrick Swayze movie. I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to give you one. I will give you my top 5. You're on the hook for one. The all-time best Patrick Swayze movie. Your favorite.
You know what? I can't.
Because Ghost is probably his best movie, or Dirty Dancing. I know it's not going to be your favorite one.
No,
because girls were all over the place. The dudes and the chicks were totally different on this.
Sure.
Girls, they were duking it out, but Dirty Dancing won over Ghost just from online. I was kind of surprised at that.
If Roadhouse is on, I got to watch Roadhouse every time because it's so great. Oh, Jesus. The double deuce. The double deuce.
So all day I've been sporting my Roadhouse t-shirts.
Oh, my God. That's
I'm a fan.
Great. I love that movie. But you know what's great about that movie is there's a lot of things that are really well done about it. But then there's there's certain times where you're like,
some cheese.
Oh, there's some cheese on this dog. There's some serious cheese on this dog.
There's some cheese. It's an awesome guilty pleasure. It happens to be my number 1 Patrick Swayze movie.
Oh, it's so great,
dude.
It's so great. It's so great. And then, I'm still a sucker for Point Break. The surfing, and he's just a badass in that movie. He's cool as shit.
Bodie.
He's just, I love Point Break. I just love everything about that movie, man. It's so
You
great.
like it better than Roadhouse?
Yeah, I do. Even though Keanu Reeves is a chunk of wood in that movie, as he is in every movie. But Swayze's great in that movie. He's just he just owns it. He's believable as shit in that movie, man. He learned to surf, and the skydiving stunts were all his and shit. So badass. What was your
Roadhouse? Roadhouse at 1.
Okay.
Red Dawn at 2.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that one.
Remember they were in high school? Wolverines.
Yes.
Red Dawn at 2. I got Point Break at 3.
Nice.
The Outsiders at 4.
Outsiders is good.
Which is awesome because Pony Boy Stay Golden. I mean, all of those amazing actors. Ralph Macchio to Tom Cruise and everybody in between. Everyone's in that movie, including Leif Garrett.
How weird.
And my number 5.
Wait. Yeah, go ahead.
My number 5 is Youngblood.
I'm like, was Patrick Swayze in Youngblood? I didn't do any research on the Sways. Youngblood is such a great fucking movie. Rob Lowe, right?
Yeah, so it's a Rob Lowe movie, but the veteran Rob Lowe's the rookie, and the veteran is Patrick Swayze, and he can skate in the movie.
Yes.
But then I said that on the air, and everybody told me about what a great skater he was here. My friend's cousin, sister's brother skated with him.
Used to try the Zamboni, and then that's how they saw him practice. Yeah, I haven't seen Youngblood in years. I got to see if that's still good.
Youngblood is awesome.
I love that movie.
The guy's name is Dean Youngblood. And that's Rob Lowe's character. And I don't remember what Swayze's character was, but he's the one, he gets injured. And I don't want to give away the movie, but Youngblood, there's just not a lot of hockey movies. So it's a good one, though.
It is good.
I always give a little extra to hockey movies because there's not many of them. But, you know, Youngblood is a top, I don't know, hockey movie. It's a top 10 hockey movie. Because there's only 10. So
maybe there's 10. I don't know. But yeah, no, I forgot. I haven't seen, I'm going to have to punch up Youngblood because I remember it being really good. You know, it's old too, man. It's like what, early 90s, late 80s?
He bangs the chick because he goes, the mom, the house. Oh,
yeah, it's so gross.
All the rookies get to stay there and then he bangs. Oh, it's awesome. Awesome movie, Youngblood. That's my Patrick Swayze tribute as we round out the show today. My final thoughts. Patrick Swayze, scary talent because I played his song on the air. She's like the wind.
Oof, it's rough.
Through my hair. I don't know what the words are, but we played that. And then the romantic stuff he could do, the action stuff he could do. He was awesome. He really was awesome.
No, he was very cool. Youngblood 1986 was released in 1986. My wife, because he was such a great dancer. He was actually a very, very good dancer. My wife was a dancer for quite a few years, and she always loved Patrick Swayze. Of course, you know, the Dirty Dancing and the Ghost and all that shit, right? Well, she got to meet him one time at an event, and she was so excited. She said it was so cool to meet him. He was super nice, but he stunk like cigarettes.
Smoking?
So bad. She's like, it was like off-putting. He smelled so bad from all the smoking. But so, you know, I hate to leave.
That's what took him down, right? Throat cancer?
He had pancreatic cancer.
Oh, maybe so.
And I don't know if that's, I'm sure it's involved somehow because smoking is obviously horrible for you in a million different ways. But yeah, the Swayze. I might have to go down and bust out the old Swayze Film Festival this weekend and put on some Led Zeppelin. I got a busy weekend ahead of me.
All right, bro. Those are my final thoughts. Again, it was great to see you in New Orleans last weekend. Thanks for dropping by.
It was awesome.
The family, we all enjoyed it.
Yeah, totally, dude. It was great. And then August 27th, Rod is going to be over at Lucky's Pub West, I-10 at Barker Cypress. You got them BuzzFest tickets. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I didn't get mine yet. I was looking at the mail. Maybe it's in today's mail. I didn't see them yet.
Right. This is episode 21, right?
Yeah, we're old enough to drink now. How cool is that?
Crazy.
It is weird, man. Thanks for listening, and be sure to check us out on YouTube. Watch the video because we make weird faces the whole time. It's weird. I was watching it the other day, and
we squatted. What podcast are you going to watch where they squat for 30 seconds? Right? Am I right?
I would say,
am I right? I mean, Joe Rogan, if he squats for 30 seconds next week on his podcast, you'll know where he got it from.
Yeah, he's going to be sitting in his ice house thing or his sauna or doing some other shit, eating like elk meat or something like that, which is cool, I guess, for him anyway. So yeah, check us out on all the social media at Playpants Pod.
Let's go. It's time. Put on Playpants.
Find us wherever you listen to podcasts. See us on our YouTube channel and follow our social media pages at Playpants Pod.